doing a page like that takes a lot of dedication and time and sacrifices. So from a coach, it's always nice to see the game being exposed the way that it is, and you're doing a fantastic job. Hopefully you can turn the comments off in this interview so people don't jump on and bag me, but
what motivated you to become a coach in the women's game?
Yeah, it's a really good question. I just want to create a positive pathway for not only my daughters, but all the girls that missed out playing rugby league because there hasn't been any pathways there. So it's a big part of why I'm so passionate about it, is because I know how much my little girls love footy already.
And you're so right. Definitely having that motivation to create a pathway for young girls is a big thing nowadays.
The girls, if you've talked to any of them that have been coached by me, I am direct. I'm intense, emotional, but also a lot of that's through care, and I think being young in my coaching career and being my first main coaching role, that's where you start to learn and evolve. And this pre-season for me has probably been the biggest one, because not only the development away from what it takes to be a coach full time, but also those personal relationships, having to go out and recruit a whole new team, try and re-sign some girls and missing out on girls. So riding that emotional roller coaster has given me one thing that I've learned is patience, which I'm not very good at. So I've had to evolve in that and to build new friendships and trust with a lot of girls that I feel like we have for 2023. So you're always evolving to be a coach. It's not always X's and O's. It's personal relationships. It's working on yourself and your craft. And I feel like this off-season's been the biggest personal development for me, in my life, not just as a coach.
It can be stressful, I guess, with all the CBA delays and that kind of mess that was going on, just before. So how stressful was that, to get all the girls on board and kind of be patient with that process as well?
Extremely stressful. We were one of 10 clubs going through it. The 4 new teams, I have no doubt, would have been probably twice as stressed. Getting their systems in place. We're lucky we've had a pathways. We had 2 Harvey Norman teams come into the competition this year, so we put our footprint back in those competitions. Our Lisa Fiola went really well, and our Tasha Gar went really well. So we've got that footprint there now, which helped that. And that was probably the exciting part of it. The hard part was, with 4 new teams, everyone's got bigger salary cap. Girls want to play together. The Australian team, there's a lot of girls that came back and wanted to play together, which we found out, was going to make our job hard. But when we started this back in November, myself and Steve, we wanted girls that want to be at the Dragons to be a Dragon. And through the recruitment process of getting to know people and signing some and missing out on others, the main focus around our group was getting the right people at our club, and we feel like we've done that. And the centerpiece of that is Racine McGregor. And when the Dahlia medalist commits to you as a coach and as a franchise in the Dragons after being there, and it was a Hail Mary sort of turn real quickly. She put a lot of faith in myself and Steve and our program. So that helped the recruitment phase. It was always going to be hard to hold on to every Australian player that we had, because we did have a successful year where we had a lot of girls go on that tour. We had a lot of girls play Origin. Plus, you have a lot of girls with new teams, that new experiences. And I'm not naive to think that some girls didn't like my coaching style. Some girls got amazing deals, and some girls wanted a new experience or wanted to play with different players. And that's cool. That's the business that we're in. But I think now that I'm coming to the end of it, I've still got 1 spot to go. I'm really excited at the fact that I can start knuckling down and starting to coach and get into X's O's. I've finalised my coaching staff. I've got, like I said, 1 more spot to go. And then, we're a month away. So the hard part, I'd like to think, is over. But the fun part of seeing women develop in our game is the exciting part coming up.
You kept me on my toes when all the signing window opened up, and you were so quick to sign players. What was your motivation behind that?
before I came into the women's space, pages like yourself weren't around on Instagram. It was sort of NRL tracker, and you had to dig deep into the website to find it, which is why I find NRLW or NRLW Watch, or however you sort of say it, is really valuable to keep track of signings for a lot of people that are casual fans, because to the casual fan, they only know probably 20 names in NRLW. If you're in this space, we know there's 240 players that are going to be in programs, and another 50 that are going to be in development. All the grades are lower that. So I think when you look at that combined with everything else, normally clubs just put out a release. They put the sticker, the new jersey on their player, and that was it. I coordinated with our media team and Steve, and we wanted to do something different. We wanted to go around and be the personal touch and have girls get their shining moment. This is the biggest moment in their career, is to be a Dragon. And we worked hard on that recruitment, so it wasn't about me going on Instagram and Twitter and getting my ugly mug there. It was, most of the girls were really nervous, but it was a cool way to do it, and a real personal touch that I felt like we led the way in that. And I think if you look at the rest of the clubs, some sort of profiled some of their high-profile players. We did it to every player, because if you're at the Dragons, you are a high-profile player to us. So it was a busy day. Seeing Bobby early in the morning, and I think we pumped out about 10 that day, and then we sort of we got our juniors and we got our local girls a couple of days later, and it was a really fun experience. Seeing that smile on their face was really cool, and something that Steve and I will cherish. We were excited in the car. We couldn't wait. We mapped out our whole day. We had chicken sandwiches, we had coffee. It was great.
No, that's awesome to hear. And it has been such a cool process to see them all come out so quickly. And I know that, from what they're showing on Instagram, they look so excited as well. And I love to be able to be a part of that and support you guys as well in giving them that profile and space to, show their skills and abilities coming into the new season. So I guess as well with Racine McGregor, did you find her easy to come on board with Paige already being at the club? So
when we recruited Paige last year, she'd come out of the Sevens program. She'd been playing for against some of the elite players, and she was one of my favourites last year. And her tenacity, her professionalism, her willingness to just give everything a go. We played her on both sides of the field. We had a kick and a train, and she's just a competitor. So I loved having Paige a part of the squad. My intentions were to get Paige back if she wanted to come back, and those conversations were ongoing. With Ray, it was more or less we needed someone for our program that could steer the team around, and we'd sort of had plans to bring the bulk of that squad back, but we had to I felt like we had to get a little bit better around some of our decision makers, and we got that with Ray, and we had a coffee, and that process wasn't just an overnight thing. We had to learn to trust each other, and you had to see if she liked me, and depending on who you talk to, some people like me, some people hate me, and some people, don't like me. So there's always three. But the thing with Ray is, I pitched our vision and what I thought she could do for our program, and getting someone of her quality after the year that she's just had was certainly a big coup for the club. So to have both those internationals plus a few others littered in our roster, and a few future internationals, I have no doubt. Getting Ray and Paige was certainly a big part of this process to building the squad.
Leading back to with the Marquee signings, I guess that's the big thing that I'd like to know. Obviously you might not be able to say who it is, but do you think that you will have one for the club?
I think the important thing around Marquee signings are, like I said, I treat everyone off their merits because they've all got a job to do. And, when looking at a Marquee, it doesn't necessarily have to be your highest paid player. So for us, we put ourselves in a position now where, we have got a couple potentially to get across the line, and we're working through that. Whether they're going to be marquees or not, I'm probably not going to tell you, unfortunately. But the league right now is littered with so much talent that you can see it spread across. And you've got Millie at the Roosters, you've got Emma at the Sharks. You had Sarah Togatuki, go to the West Tigers. So there's a lot of marquee talent around there, and that's the hard part, is fitting all that in. So to answer your question, I'm probably not going to answer your question.
No, that's completely okay. I wanted to see. So I guess, a lot of the attention has been on losing those, Jillaroos players that you touched on earlier. And I think that there are a lot of fans that are concerned about the squad and how that'll kind of progress without them. So what would you have to say to the fans that are a little bit nervous about that?
Yeah, again, I think, for the casual fans that know the Jillaroos players after the successful World Cup that they had, there's more players than those 24 out there. And, we've been working on this for 4 months. We've been watching tape. We've been digging through the competitions. And if you have a look at the girls that we've recruited, it's been, specific players for specific positions, and to build a team around, some of those players, but also, new positions as well. Tegan Berry, she's made the transition into fullback now. So, we've got someone there that wants to be a part of our program and learn. And, whenever you lose players, it's always going to be tough. But whenever there's 4 new teams, it was always even going to be tougher. So, what I would say to fans is, don't be ignorant and do your research on some of these players. And if you haven't been watching the Queensland and New South Wales competitions, you're not going to know a lot of these girls, and that's okay. But when you're building essentially a new franchise again, there's 10 new franchises out there. It's not just 4 new teams, because everyone was a free agent. This has never happened before. So, to our fans, I'd be saying that, I'm in it for the long haul. The roster that we've signed will be very, very competitive, and there is a lot of talent littered throughout that squad. You only have to look at Bobby Law, premiership winner with the Knights last year. Would have been easy to stay at home around family and play with Tamika and Jessie and the crew. But she saw something in our program and the way that we approached it. So I would say, there's internationals there. Roxy Murdoch-Masilla, Alexis Tuanea. If you haven't seen her play for the Bulldogs, she's only 18. So I don't lose any sleep at night around our squad. I'm very confident with the people that we've got and the players that we've got and how we want to play.
No, that's fantastic to hear. I think that'll definitely instill a lot of confidence. And I think a lot of people are excited for the development players that have come on board as well. Is there any players that you're particularly excited about? Anyone that has stood out to you so far?
To be honest, I'm excited about a lot of them. Meeting them, in the recruitment phase, you get people that are recruiting for the club and for the coach. We did this ourselves. We drove around, we met these girls, we had coffees, we talked to them, we built a relationship with them. And Taylor Mapasua came down last week from Brisbane, and she spent the day, and my little one was 6, so she had to come and chill at the crib for a bit. But it was, we've built those relationships. So in terms of our development players, our Lisa Fiola, which is under 17s, went through undefeated this year. Casey Ray will be a part of that. I feel like she's an extremely talented, hardworking halfback who gets rugby league. And she'll be in our NRLW squad next year. Plus, you've got younger girls there that, because of the age restrictions, they can't play NRLW next year. But Indy Bostock, Bronte Wilson, for us is having those girls on board is key, because we need that next bunch of development girls coming through. So I'm excited about all of them. And you only have to look at, I think, the way the game's going, you're going to see a lot of girls that will skip that development phase and jump straight into NRLW and do their apprenticeship on the run. And Ella Costa for us is an exciting prospect. I'd like to think we've got 2 of the best 18-year-old forwards in Alexis Tuanea and Ella coming through. And you only have to look at what they've done in terms of getting those teams across the line. Plus, you've got other girls as well that I'm just going to work on them and let them shine.
Yeah, definitely. It sounds like you're really excited about these new players coming on board.
Successful season last year. I feel like even though we didn't get the rings, we won 11 games. It was, the previous years, consistency was something that the club had lacked. So for us, we just want to be hard to beat. And if we feel like we're definitely going to be fit enough, and we're definitely going to have the players to do it, it's just going to be a matter of executing at the right time and making sure that we're hard to beat. And I think we'll do that. The culture's been set by, again, the best player in the world wanting to come to our and enhance our culture. We're not looking to try and set a new culture and change the way that we do things. Yes, we want to do them better, and yes, I want to be a better coach, and we all want to be better players, but the culture's been set there by those girls that have decided to return, and we're very happy about that. So they'll carry on some of the work we did last year. But like I said, when the best player in the world comes, she's enhancing our culture of being hard to beat and executing out in the field.
Yeah, I think Racine will definitely be a really strong person for the club and the team as well. Do you think that in an ideal world, would you want to coach the Dragons long term?
The NRLW Dragons?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I get asked a lot about probably two things: why we haven't got a lot of girls that are on extended deals, and for us, the situation of being 4 new teams, and a lot of girls have managers and their decisions or indecisions around what my coaching future might hold, because we've recruited these girls. I have every intention of dominating the women's space for as long as I can. So I'll be sitting down with Dragons management during the pre-season to extend my stay. To what length, I guess we'll nut out behind the scenes. But the 23 players that we've got on our books, heading into this week, have all been recruited by myself and Steve Nelson. So a lot of those girls are sort of probably waiting to see, which is good for me, but also puts the pressure on to make sure that I make them a better player. But I'll be extending my stay as soon as possible, with an intention to stay in the women's space. And as much as I love helping out the men and I love being a part of the club, I love being the girls' coach. It's so cool. You get to meet so many cool people, and I have every intention of dominating this space and making the next crop come through and leaving the program in a better place.
That's amazing. No, that's so good to hear. I guess, do you have any concerns with the comp expansion and the talent pool being spread out, or not really? You feel confident with the development?
Yeah, I think there will be some growing pains. There's no doubt about that. I mean, probably the Dolphins have sent how can you put it, like the false sense of what everyone's going to be like in NRLW. Not everyone can win every week. There's going to be 5 winners, 5 losers. So you will get to see that, and you'll have a look if our players that have signed for the Dragons. We've got a lot of young girls. Or young women, I beg your pardon. So, I have no doubt there'll be some growing pains for teams this year. But as the comp gets longer and as women get used to playing longer seasons and we become more and more professional, you'll have that even out. But I have no doubt this year there probably will be some growing pains for all teams at some stage.
What advice do you have for women wanting to get into the NRLW?
Go out and sign up to your local team and get involved. The biggest thing we can ask about is participation. Get to games, make sure every player for your team that you support. I'm a big touch footy fan, so a lot of great footy players have come from the touch background. So touch is such an amazing sport. It's quick decisions, it's fast, it's evaluating, how to play and count numbers and all that kind of stuff. So a lot of my recruitment is, looking at girls that have played touch footy before, and I know Princey's the same up there at Brisbane. So, get out, play, participate. Don't be afraid. The whole mental thing of, you're too small. Like, I don't want my daughter to play. She's too small. Like, what I say to all the small kids is, you end up earning all the money because you're the smart one. So. Get out there and learn how to, learn your craft and don't be afraid to take a risk, because we're all trying to make the game as strong as possible. And if you hang back too long, you'll miss the boat.
I love that. No, that's great advice. I think that'll be good for the girls.
The more exposure we can get to our game is great. And it's funny, because when your feed comes up on Instagram, you're nervous because you're not sure who's signed where. Or I think it's good to I wanted to reward that and give you some time, because you deserve it, and hopefully everyone's following your platform.
Thank you so much. Bye.
See ya. Bye.